In the modern era, I don't think there's an industry as scary as dating. Since the invention of the smartphone, dating apps have been on the rise for a long time now. It started off very casually with kind of Tinder and Grindr and all that, but slowly evolved into things like farmersonly.com, blackpeoplemeet.com, websites like those that cater to very specific audiences of the dating sphere. There's even a dating app called International Dater, which allows you to find cute foreign singles around the world, which I wouldn't even want to begin how that works. And to even terrify you even more, there are dating apps and dating sites dedicated strictly for clowns. There's literally clowndating.com, clownpassion.com, 100% free clown dating and chat, the dating website for clowns. This is why I'm broke.com. Oh my god, that's ridiculous. I swear to god, the world is burning. We died a long time ago. This is our purgatory. And while we could go down the multitude of rabbit holes of bad Tinder dates, bad Grindr dates, horrible hookups that eventually lead to, being swatted, raided, or abducted by crack addicts, I want to take one about that's possibly a scam going on YouTube right now. This is Date Player 2. Now, Date Player 2 advertises itself as a place for the geek and nerdy to date casually. And their main slogan on their page when you first go in, right above their sign up button, their second sign up button. They have one right below this slogan and one in the corner near the login area. They really kind of want to push that whole, join our cause thing. Well, their slogan reads, whether you're an avid gamer, self-proclaimed geek, or just an all-around nerd. I mean, basically all three of these things fit into one category nowadays. I mean, we just call them gamers. That's just it. We give you the tools to guide you through the greatest quest of all. Meet the person of your fantasies. I love how they don't even tell you what your greatest quest of all is, because it could be a multitude of things on here. It could be one guy's dream to find the girl or guy that he's in love with, and it could be another person's dream just to lay mad pipe for once and not cry alone in their parents' basement. But as you go on, it kind of just has this weird vibe where it has to explain everything to you. Like right here in its Our Features settings, yes, it's okay for them to casually tell you like, hey, this is how it works, this is how people get matched up together. And they even say it's effortlessly browse through potential matches in our match area, see the top 3 things you have in common with that player, swipe left if you're not interested, and swipe right to begin your quest. Kinda cringe. Find someone to take you AFK. Which, if I may say, if you're a gamer, you live and die by the chair that you game in. That thing will have a butt print embedded in it till the end of time. You will not stop until your heart croaks during a Destiny raid. That is the curse of gamers. But it's the next one that's a little bit weird. It's the whole interactive home feed. It's almost like they ran out of ideas of what this app actually does, and they were just like, hey, it's kind of like Twitter, it's kind of like Instagram. You can, post pictures and tell people how you're doing. It kind of reminds me of a bunch of alternatives to like mainstream social media, kind of like Parler and all that, where this is supposed to be like a secondary option for people who specifically want to be in a sphere of gaming, nerd, and geek culture. But hey, it is what it is. And I'll talk about this later, but one of the things is interact with players' posts using instant reactions to get the conversation started. You can't just DM them, you can't slide into the DMs. And then, of course, they have the in-depth profile page. It's like literally after the first page of them telling you how this app works, they ran out of ideas of what their features are. Did you know this thing can be used as a mobile app? Did you know it's just a little square on your phone? It's only going to take about 200 megabytes of data? I honestly don't even know if this is an app or if it's just a straight up website, because I'm pretty sure I searched the App Store and I couldn't find Date Player 2 to save my life. If anything, I found these weird co-op indie games on the Google Play Store. I don't think I ever saw this as an actual dating app anywhere. But of course, it's just create your profile and you basically tell them your basic information. Name, age, where you're located, the gender you go under, and the pronouns. And you can tell they're very inclusive because they have non-binary and they-them pronouns. But another thing that takes me off guard is this whole like and star system. Are these profiles being rated by the people who visit them? Like, oh, this Jane Smith, she's a real 4.5 girl. Look at her, she's got 1.2k likes. In which case, isn't it just a popularity contest at that point? And wouldn't it be a red flag if someone has a lot of reviews on their page, meaning they've gone through a lot of people on this site and haven't found the one person they're with? Just seems off to me. Now, this is where things get a little bit sketchy. Their subscribe to love section. This can be found at the bottom of basically any page because they really, really want you to be enticed by this. But their whole subscribe system basically boils down to we have these articles you can read. We have these lobbies with immersive gamers that really are part of a good community. We're trying to create a community here. And by subscribing, you too can join in on that. Whether it's retro gaming, video games, cosplays, or comics, whatever you're into to share your passions here. It's basically let's create this small echo chamber of what you really like and kind of encapsulate you in that. Now, this would be something normal if it was like a social media thing, but this is a dating app. You're not really there to meet communities. You're there to meet people to date to potentially have a partner in life. It all just seems really weird of why would you have this? I guess at the end of the day you could say we need money to keep the lights on, but this just seems very weird. It doesn't make any sense. I also find it very weird that how, if you remember in the first slide that I showed you, that it said, begin your greatest quest of all. It never actually specified what that quest was, but if you go down to their mission statement, which is way at the bottom, where you can find their terms of service, their privacy policy, the cookies, and the anti-slavery policy they follow, which, for those curious, it basically means they, don't condone human trafficking. This is not a site meant for human trafficking. Anyone who violates that is against federal law. Very good on you. Still a sketchy website, but still right on you. Now, it also has a Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, which is also very weird. I don't understand why. It's not like I've seen any testimonies about these things. Hi there, sorry for the interruption, but while I was looking into the editing of this footage, I decided to go and check out all the social medias that, Dayplayer 2 advertised, and all of them were very strangely the same. They were a bunch of generic stock image photos that you would almost just pay iStock or someone like that to give, and that's just all it is on their page. Like, look at this one. It's even a ripoff of a GTA 5 cover art. I mean, I guess they really want to immerse that this is for gamers, but this is basically all these sites have. There's no real fluff or filler or interaction with anyone. It's all just a bunch of stock imagery meant to promote the site, but even then, it doesn't straight up say join player 2. It just says connect with gamers, do this, do that. It's a bunch of weird posts that just add to the shadiness of all this. Sorry, back to the video. But again, back to their mission statement. It says begin your quest of love here. It's almost like they wrote these things out and decided to change a few things as the website developed. And which is fine, but it's almost crappily put together. They didn't really pay attention to the details. Why have it specialized that this is a website for beginning your quest of love here, but on the main page you just say go through the greatest quest of all? A little bit odd, but at the end of the day, it could just be my paranoia. Hi, Future Cuckoo here to actually give a more in-detail talk about this whole mission statement connection I'm making and how during my stroke of a recording I didn't make a cohesive thought on the connection of the two. The connection is that in the mission statement, it specifically states that this is a website meant for helping you find a partner, meant for helping you find love. But on the main page, the one we talked about at the very beginning of the video, it talks about how this is going to be you going on the greatest quest of your life. Not specifying that this is love, friendship, companionship, some sort of quest for treasure or gold. No, it just states that you're going to be starting the quest of your life and find the person of your fantasies. Now, while you could say that's alluding to dating, and while they're just trying to be quirky, I feel like this is almost just a loophole-ish thing they have for people who haven't researched the site. It's very loosely worded so that you could think, oh, this is just a new alternative to social media, like Twitter or Facebook, specifically for gamers. And that's what I'm getting at here. It's vaguely written for those who don't look too deep, to kind of coerce them into paying for the VIP service, which I talk about later and how scummy that is. And that's about it. It's just a very loosely worded thing up front, but in the details, it's very specific. Very odd if you ask me. Anyway, this should be enough of Future Cuckoo. I don't think I'll have to interject again, but if I have to, I will. Now, their about page is as standard as follows. They claim they were established in 2021, which is weird because they have a trademark on the name Date Player 2 since the previous year. You could say it's just that they needed that year to set up the app and everything, but I feel like it was just kind of to put the bricks in place of a scam store, of a snake oil salesman, you could say. We have been specializing in connecting single gamers who share the same passions. We find meaningful connections with like-minded people who have a devotion to gaming. It's time to become the protagonist in your love story. First of all, if it's your love story, shouldn't you already be the protagonist? It's not like you're some NPC in your own love life. If you are, that's just sad and cope. My god, that is the most pathetic thing on earth if you think you're an NPC in your love life. Seek help. We are more than dating. We are a community. Again, it's an app for finding love. Why would you go there to create a community? Just go play CSGO or Dota or something. Over 15k members globally. Now keep that number in mind. 15,000 people globally. We don't have to quest the galaxy for love. Search by distance, age range, and more. Love could be closer than you think. Unique members content. Again, the members content is like the articles and community hubs you can join. And for some reason they have 24-hour customer care. Are you just going to be like, I don't know why my ratings are so low. It's because you're a bad person, Gregory. Maybe if you stopped posting pictures of your dog, you would get more swipes rights. My god. Come on, man. This isn't 2015. Dick pics aren't allowed anymore. Now, while we've dug into the site, it's time to do what Eminem says and snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. For when I looked up reviews of this site, because I'm not going to, sign up using a burner email and go through the agonizing process of using this site only to have the potential of being DDoSed, having my IP leaked, being swatted, and having my bank account dried by next Tuesday. But I was surprised that out of 11 reviews total for this on Google Reviews, it averages out to a 2-star, with 100% of the reviews giving the site 1 star. So where does the extra star come from? Pity? I don't know. Now remember how I said there was a subscription fee? Let me read you this one review from C period space O period, who states it's an absolute scam. You can't do anything without paying for VIP. You receive a heap of interest from potential suitors while not a VIP. Messages will flow in from bot accounts once you pay to see the messages, though. You have to pay for those messages. You can't just casually DM people. Of course, the bots have free reign because that's what they're doing. That the bots have these VIP statuses already unlocked for them because that's what the people are fishing for. But for you to pay for those VIP services to see these messages, which turn out to just be generic questions that fish for your personal info. Height, age, maiden name, ethnicity, what do you do for work? Questions like that. That's what these bots are fishing for at the end of the day. And they put it perfectly. This is purely an information phishing scam, which I will say, it's easy to set up these phishing scams because they're solely preying on people who are desperate and vulnerable for love, which may I say is scummy in the least. You're taking advantage of someone's insecurity of the dating world and kind of loneliness to try and fish out information and dry them up of money. It's a cruel, sad thing at the end of the day. And while a lot of these reviews are basically the same, calling it a spam, I want to bring forth this one, which is from December 20th, 2020, where she points out every flaw in this site. Bravo. Hats off to Milady. And she writes, average girl here. I've been using this site for over 3 months, and in the end, I had no luck. As a free user, you've received tons of likes from supposedly interested people, but you can't view them and they just sit there piling up until you pay for that sweet, sweet VIP access. Of course, to have any hope of using the basic functions of the site, you have to pay. If you get caught without putting anything that is banned, no way of knowing what those things are, your profile gets altered automatically with false info. Basically saying here that there are some things on the site that they do not allow to be in your profile. There is no way of knowing what those things are because they don't flat out tell you, not in their terms of service, not anywhere. And for them to just go and say, hey, we're going to alter your account without you knowing, is kind of scummy, because it could easily just alter it in a way that makes it easier for the bots to find you. Not saying there aren't actual people on this site, but I'm saying it in the sense of there are minnows surrounded by sharks searching for other minnows, if you get my meaning. It's a bunch of smoke and a lot of mirrors, and you can't actually tell what's real and who's not. And that's why I believe this is just a all in all big scam. It's because of those 15,000 people, how many of them are actual users to actual bots? What's the ratio of people you're preying upon to bots you use to fish out that information? It's hard to tell, and without any actual numbers of activity, it's hard to tell how many. And again, these are from a while ago. I've had this video on the back burner for quite a while, so it's hard to tell if that 15K has grown, or if that site is going to stay static and say that it's always been 15,000 users. 15,000 users till the end of time. They might get to a point where they create so many bots that they might up it just to try and sell the authenticity of this. But the sheer audacity that this site is actually promoted on places like YouTube, and I've even seen it on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, is disgusting. Is that this place is out here promoting itself everywhere, trying to suck in as many desperate nerds, geeks, and sad, lonely people that are just searching for love. And while it may be cruel for me to call them sad, lonely people, it's because they are. When it comes to dating, it's hard nowadays. It's really hard. Take it from me. I know. It's a scary thing. It's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to get into, and it's a hard thing to keep going. It's hard to have human connections nowadays when most of the people live their lives on the internet. And I wish there would be simpler ways to doing this, like speed dating or going to conventions. But it's as simple as just talking to people. I know there's always that awkward moment of, oh, I have a boyfriend, oh, I have a girlfriend. But that's all part of the experience. You shouldn't just let that awkward moment hang over you for the rest of your life. Nor should you let rejection rule your life. Because once you do that, you just set yourself up in this prison. All I can say is, for dating, just get out there, Tiger. Go get 'em. There's nothing I can really say or do that can really influence how to, actually bag a woman or guy of your dreams. You just gotta be human. Don't put too much pressure on them. Give them affection, give them attention, but don't smother them right off the bat. Wait till 5 months in to smother them. But as she goes on, I should have gone back to this review a while ago, but she states then, very few people are active here because you have to pay to talk to people. And I feel like that's the big deterrence here of their money-making scheme. It's if they're desperate enough to buy this VIP service, they're desperate enough to be scammed. It's almost like they're sort of cop-out at this point. If you're desperate enough to pay for our VIP services, you almost deserve to be scammed. It's not our fault, it's yours. You're the one who's so desperate you decide to pay for VIP services to use a basic function of private messaging. Tinder allows it, Grindr allows it, Hinge allows it, Facebook allows it, Instagram allows it. What made you think you were any sort of special treat that makes private messaging such a God's gift to women on this site? I don't know. So I took the bait and I paid to try out the site as a paid user. Essentially, you get to see who liked you and message them freely. However, after a few months, I haven't spoken to anyone with a real account and haven't had a single date. Not mad, I knew it was a long shot, but a tad disappointing. I've also seen people talk about how if they don't answer the questions, the bots just stop messaging them. And if they try to tiptoe around, or once the bot gets their answer, they kind of just ghost them. You can try and interact with these accounts all you want, but once they get the answer to the questions they want, that's just it. Magician's trick is done and the show's over. They don't need to talk to you anymore. They have the info they need, but Again, it's a bunch of bots taking all this cumulative data that they get from messaging you, and that's how they fish this info out of you. It's not all at once. It's not this brutal barrage of one bot asking you a million questions. It's a multitude of bots coming in from every flank, and you can't tell who's real and who's not. Especially in the age of AI, I could see a site like this being absolutely dangerous. I could see a site like this destroying people because the AI can make it seem genuine in a sense. Anyways, just a heads up for a few genuine, hopeful, wonderful people hoping this site works. I'll be happy if this helps one person not invest too much time and effort there. Not here to sway anyone for or against using the site, just wanted to share my experience. Don't worry, I'm here to tell you. This site is a scam. You shouldn't trust this site, and you should never, ever, ever should try any site that promotes itself like this, that has such simple features locked behind a paywall. Like I said before, dating's hard. It never is easy. Life is hard, and that's why no one survives. One of my favorite Queens of the Stone Age lyrics. But my advice for dating is the following. You just gotta get out there and try. Don't be creepy. Don't be smothering. Don't be aggressive. Just be calm, collective, kind, and courteous. And if someone simply says the words, I have a boyfriend, or I have a girlfriend, then just say, sorry, didn't know, and move on with your day. Sure, there will be women out there who will be like, they were the love of my life. There will be men out there who you'll be like, they were the love of my life. But guess what? You say that only because you met that one person. Of billions of people on this planet, we're not destined for one person or the other. As much as you want to believe that, sure, there are people who are more compatible for each other, but at the end of the day, you can be compatible with millions of people. It's just the willingness to meet them, and the luck of meeting them. Love at the end of the day could be a very, very greedy game of luck. In which case, it's worth the gamble. Because at the end of the day, the only thing you could potentially lose is a good partner in life. So, final tidbits on this site. Don't go into it. Don't ever sign up for this site. Avoid it at all costs. And good luck dating. That's all I can say. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I'll see you all next time.